Welcome to Moonshine and Music. I'm Joe Shelton, and we've got a great show for you today. Welcome back this is a National Road Music Series show, by the way. Jennie DeVoe joined us on one of our shows last fall, and, tonight she's the guest for the show. So we're going to jump in there. So you get to see her perform a couple of songs and a great interview backstage, which we're going to go to right now here on Moonshine and Music.
You want to hear what a manatee sounds like?
Thing where I sing better if I am barefoot. And I don't have socks on right now.
Everyone knows my name, they can read it on my sleeve.
Played a banjo badly.
Feel the heat from the fire that's been burning in your heart.
Like, I loved the old vintage stuff.
Somehow the 60 years and 19 days, they woke up in the dark.
We had to bury that stupid llama and it took us forever.
How to make music happen, how to make it pretty, how to make it dissonant, and I learned how to sing through them.
Don't have babies with crazy people, cause they never go away.
And then you could take like 6 pennies and tape them to the arm and it would ride over the wave.
Maybe later tonight, I'll see horses.
All right, welcome to Moonshine and Music and the National Road Music Series. Today, I am Joe Shelton. You know that, like, if you're watching the podcast or listening to it. But we have with us, again, Jennie DeVoe back and starring today in the National Road Music Series show.
Hello. Nice.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for thinking this up. I think it's just great, and we're very excited to do the show tonight.
Well, that's great. I'm the coolest thing about this series is the theater. It's not even us. It's not even like the theater's like the star.
I totally agree. It definitely makes a difference to have the place, have the lights go down. It's kind of a given that everybody will turn their cell phones off, although somebody won't. But yeah, it kind of, the seating and the presentation sort of indicates to everybody what to do and what's going to happen. And then it becomes the energy between you and the audience.
Like I know you do a lot of shows in the summer that are outdoor with like desperate crowds, and they're doing all sorts of stuff. While I mean, there's no way to avoid that. It's an outdoor festival thing or whatever, right? Do you feel like I know I do, and I'm sure you probably do. Do you feel like so much more connected when we come in and we've got a theater setting and we've got these...
Absolutely. Yeah, this is ideal. I mean, we do, playing at the Jazz Kitchen, or we just did the Brown County Playhouse. Theaters like this, or the Royal Theater in Danville, are our favorites. And then the summer festivals can be really fantastic. Sometimes it's hard if there are a bunch of bands, then you have to change over, but you still have to do your thing no matter what. So this almost makes it just easier to do a show when you get these and you've really earned what you're doing all summer, or, when you do all the outdoor things where there's a little bit more chaos. This makes it really, really special because it's like, this is what we love. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love playing the big festival too, where you got, there's a whole different kind of feeling around playing for like 5,000 people, right? Like they're just like lined up weirdly. They're like going through booths or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, then coming and playing an intimate. I mean, it's like such a different discipline, really. Do you feel that way as well?
Well, this puts a little bit more pressure on you as an artist because it is what we really strive to do, is what I think. I think if you're a songwriter, then this is your thing, So yeah, it's so much fun, and so the energy is just so different to be able to, have this audience so close and everybody's waiting for you and you have to deliver.
So we had you on, like, I think you were like our 6th or 7th, like you were one of the first episodes of our podcast. What have you been up to in the interim? Have you had like something really cool? That
Well,
we
let's see.
should
We
be
had
aware
COVID,
of?
right? We
Well,
had
yeah,
COVID
I mean,
happen.
I can't downplay that. I try.
Yeah, you know what? It was sort of a time for me to take a little bit of a break, and I had written a whole bunch of stuff before COVID that I've kind of continued to really just kind of craft. So I've got, gosh, I might have about 30 songs right now that I want to just pick the best and make a record of, something that's cohesive. I've just waited for a while, and it just feels like necessary. I just needed to kind of go through a growth and a reboot. My dad passed away, so I've had a lot of different events since we last did your show.
My dad died, and my father-in-law in the middle of COVID.
Wow.
And so I totally feel what you mean, and it's hard to like reboot and go.
That's hard to have that happen.
What am I going to do
during
these
COVID?
next songs about?
Right.
Like what am I going to? I feel like it's such a challenge to get your mind right after such an event. I mean, I know there were people like it was kind of amazing to me. Some of the bigger artists like throwing a record out there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and I couldn't even function,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we all took it a different way, right?
Yes. I mean, and everybody, life didn't stop for people. I mean, people still had to do everything they were doing. I thought, COVID was hard for artists. I felt like we were kind of at the end of all the people who they talked about, which was kind of funny because they talked about all the bar owners and all that. And it's like, well, we are one of the things that make if there's a bar or a venue, we were kind of part of the equation that would make there be a reason for people to come, right?
Yeah.
It's not only alcohol. So, I thought it was interesting. We all had to figure out how to do the government pandemic relief, and I did it. I learned it, and I'm not very techy. So I just felt like I learned a lot during COVID. I also work out of my home, so I'm pretty good at, being alone and creating things to do. So I would say, that was just a weird time in life for so many people, Yeah,
I feel the same. And I one of the things about me is that I never have dealt well with like losing somebody close to me, and music is the way that I like. There's songs written about all of them, probably.
Aww,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to do, right? Is to deal and grip with that.
Yeah.
And I'm totally feeling you with the loss in there, because it's such a rough thing. I mean, my brother passed away in 2017, and I still haven't really gotten over it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think mine is just about 4 months, 5 months, and it's just it's not completely it just pops up at all different kinds of times. So no, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah, I mean, but you said you got 30 songs. You're going to put some together. Do you have any kind of timeline for doing that? Like,
no, that's the good thing and the bad thing about being your own boss, right? So let's see, how many records have I put out? I've put out maybe about 12. Some of them are live records, but I think 6 are studio albums. And I gave one of them to Sony Red for distribution, and that was kind of cool. And I might end up giving the rest of them to them. We've been talking about doing that. And I've been talking a little bit about going back to England and working with John Parrish again. That'd be my 4th studio album with him. And I really love working with him. And he's out with PJ Harvey right now. So that's kind of when I used to love to listen to PJ Harvey. I mean, I still do. But he did a record with Tracy Chapman that was the Let It Rain album. And I might have talked about this because I don't remember what we talked about.
I mean, I can't remember everything
Yeah,
either.
I can't remember. But I just love the way he works, and I love that we talk about how we're going to work before we get going. And he makes me have a vision for the record. I don't know. I think it's so important to tell somebody what you want to have happen, write down sort of a mission statement for each record, and then have somebody kind of hold you to that. Otherwise, you can just, making a record, you can just, hey, you know what I thought about doing this last night? He's really good about saying, that won't really go with what we're trying to do. And it's like, you know what? You're right. So be sure about your vision, and it will come out a little bit.
You know
better.
what? I understand that. The hardest thing is to keep yourself in line.
Self-discipline is an art that I've not yet mastered.
Especially when it comes to art things, right?
Right.
Because you can get yourself off in 5 directions, right?
Yep.
So you know, like, oh, you know, this is really cool. Let's do this, and you're like, wait a minute, I was doing this whole
Have a vision.
thing.
Have a vision. I think that it's a really, really good idea to have and talk to somebody and have them be your teammate. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's great advice in anything, even if it's not music. If it's
have somebody you're
else.
accountable to and just talk about. Unless you're making millions of dollars just kind of winging it, then But I do think that self-discipline is just very important. To
Honestly,
keep working
I think
on.
some of the ones making millions of dollars really need somebody to rein them in sometimes.
They probably don't care.
They don't care, but
Yeah.
they still do well, but they could, a great example for me is like Garth Brooks. Like, who's going to tell Garth no on anything, right?
He's so self-disciplined, though.
But he could do, you know what I mean? He could
Yeah.
he could go off in any direction.
Yes.
And no one
and
would
he
be
did,
like,
right? He did
and
the Chris
did.
Gaines
Like,
thing.
Yeah. And
it was
one
like, no, we don't
Yeah.
want that. But you know what? He tried some weird imaginative thing, and it's like he still came back.
Personally, I kind of dug that album.
Did ya?
Yeah, because it was just weird enough that I liked it.
Really? I don't know that I ever heard it. I just know I
I'm a-
remember seeing him different and going, what is happening? I love Garth Brooks as Garth Brooks, though.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about Garth is when he kind of stretches a little. You know, a lot of the country guys really, really stay in a lane, and I really love that. You know, he's the kind of guy who's like, I want to do this Chris Gaines thing. I'm going to do some rock songs, or I'm going to,
See, I think he could have just done that as Garth, and everybody'd still love it.
I think
but
that
he
would
knew,
probably have made it less weird. But.
Well, he knew the country audience, and at that point, I do think that the country audience was a little less forgiving, and so I can see why he's like, you know what, I'm just doing something completely, like taking this hat off, putting this other hairdo on and everything. So
that's really it's an interesting case. Like I'm saying, like you get those guys, they can go off. That's also the great thing about being someone like me who's not really famous. I can do whatever I want.
Yep. You can always do whatever you want.
No one
just
cares.
so you know.
Yeah.
And they'll care. I mean, but you just have to always keep your blinders on. Yeah.
So, do you have a special song or anything you're doing tonight that you want to highlight? This is what I've asked basically all of the folks that have done the series. So,
who all's done the series?
Well, the first show that we're on the 4th one now. So the first one we had Megan Christine Martin in the 1900, and they had Mikey Good, fabulous country singer that was opening for them, and who was the solo artist? We had a solo artist at the start of it, and my brain is leaving me at this moment.
That's okay. I'm sorry.
You put me on the spot, but that's cool. And the second show we had was Reckless Bound. They're a group from Nashville, and one of them is actually from New Palestine, and the other one is from Ontario. But they're a duo, and they're really good. Actually,
were they very polite? The ones from Ontario.
Yes, both of them are very polite. They're wonderful.
Canadians are polite.
They actually, Sydney Page is one of the two, and she is the one that's from here. The lead guitar player in my band he was my guitar teacher. He was also hers, and so we know each other. And she sang on one of my records.
Yeah, I
before.
heard you playing guitar, and you sound good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so she's
Thank
really cool.
you, because we'll be listening to you.
Yeah, you don't want to have to listen to.
No.
Yeah. So she was those two. They're wonderful. And actually, when they came into town, I'm recording a record. They're singing on one of the songs.
Cool.
So that's really good.
Very cool.
And then we had Joel David Weir with them, as well as Catherine Nagy Trio.
I know Catherine Nagy.
Yeah.
So we're writing a song together right now.
Are you? Yeah. That's great. She's been trying to write songs with a lot of folks, and that's really cool.
Yeah. So we did one session, and we came up with, I think, about 3 things. So we have one that we're going to knock out when she gets back from her trip. So
And our last one was a songwriter show because we had it on a Thursday because
Yep.
of some logistics. So we just did like a regular songwriter show, and we
Cool.
had Paul Holland, who's played with like all kinds of people.
Okay.
And we had Anna Owens. I don't know if you've heard her, but you should.
I should hear a lot more people than I do.
Anna Owens is 17 years old, and she's been writing songs since she was like 13, and she's incredible.
Wow.
And then Ray Hoskins. So we had like this whole age jump thing going because Ray is an older guy. She's 17. And then we had Paul.
Cool.
So it was a cool show. But then tonight we've got me and you.
Yep.
Which I think is really fun to have, an old friend do the show
Yep.
and Ball Staters. We
Yep.
both went to Ball State.
Yep.
So, chirp, chirp, go Cards.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
So that's fun. Our last show of the year has the Hammer and the Hatchet. It's all bluegrass bands. So
Oh,
we got
cool.
Hammer and the Hatchet and Stampede String Band, and Chris Wolf is going to open.
Very cool.
Which is, he's like a folk jokey
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he'll be glad that you know who he is.
Yeah, I do because
Yeah.
I think he sends me messages
Does he?
Yep.
Yeah.
on Facebook.
He is so cool.
Or at least I see him pop up.
So
I'm horrible on all
Chris
that stuff.
Chris has hosted the open stage at Square Cat Vinyl in Fountain Square
Yeah.
over time and brought so many people together through doing that,
That's
in the
cool.
middle of the city.
Yeah. Have you done anything with just plain folks? Have you done anything with
No,
them?
I haven't. No.
Brian. Yeah, you should look him up. Do something with Brian.
Anybody you want to have on, hook me up. Send them over. We'll
yeah,
figure it out.
likewise. I mean,
Yeah.
likewise. I'm just, I really network by accident is how I usually do it, and I enjoy it.
I know that for a while you were doing shows at like the Rathskeller with Chris Wilson and the Heresy, who are like, Chris is one of my good friends.
I think Chris is awesome.
Yeah.
Chris is awesome. Yeah, well, Chris was
Before he moved to LA.
Chris was booking stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was in Ireland, and then he came here, and then he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
No, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I actually mentioned them in one of the songs that I'm going to play tonight. So
Cool.
that's, I had to work that in somehow. I don't know.
okay. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. I hope you're watching. Chris was on the show too, a long time ago. And if you guys haven't watched that one, go watch it.
Yeah,
It's
he's
great.
good. He's very good.
All right. Well, I think we've got just about all we need.
All right.
I know we can chat forever, but
Okay.
people
yeah,
are
we'll
gonna
have a
get
good
bored
show.
with
Break
us.
a leg.
You too.
All right, thanks.
See ya.
All right, see ya.
Last thing I ever recall, remember I won 50 cents for a pair angel wings. Thought if I had them I could do all kinds of amazing things that no one else could do. Like I could fly, like Superman, transcend everything, ever made me cry. Oh, but I found out I'm only human after all. So hope you don't mind, but I'm here on earth. So enjoy your stay here on earth, yeah. I called you up one time, out there in outer space. They went looking to find you, but they never found a trace. They said they'd give you the message So hope you don't mind, but here is the way I live. And if you're in the neighborhood, honey, you should drum on, and I don't have much, but I can be a good friend. Oh, for what it's worth, I hope you enjoy your stay here on earth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Enjoy your stay here on earth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here on earth. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, hey.
Sexy Bass by Jeff Stone. Sexy bass stuff. It's because he's from Canada. Canadians are not usually sexy. But Jeff Stone, ladies and gentlemen, Sexy Bass. That's a sexy speed. That's what I'm talking. Ladies know what I'm talking about.
You got that look, you got that look in your eye. I'm falling for your sweet lies. That ain't cool. I'll never ever be your fool, no, no. You think you got me under your spell. You're throwing pennies down, wishing well. You must be dreaming. Lord, my train, she's leaving. I got the power, I know the truth. So don't mess with my heart. It's foolproof. Foolproof. I see you walking down the street. You looking back and making eyes at me. You never talk about. Oh, let it never crossing.
Moonshine and Music is produced by Joe Shelton. Our cameraman Grip stunt doubling. I mean, he does other stuff. Brent Lee Smith. On audio, we've got Joe Shelton and Tony Seiler. And on artwork, Bailey Shelton. Lighting by Heather Warnstaff. Our production assistants are Patrick Zabriskie, Sarah Shelton, and Ray Hoskins. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Moonshine and Music.